Check it. I feel like I've been behind, damn near all my life. Stuck up in the grind, got no time to duck and jive. Government full of lies, secretly seeking our demise. They don't want us to strive, they need us knowing the
Kings and queens, queens and kings, welcome. If you're a first-time viewer or if you're a returning crew, I'm honoured that you're here and I'm thankful that you're here. I just need to remind you that you are loved. You are special. You are here for a reason. And you are sovereign. There goes a pelican in the background. While I'm here, might as well do a little mini standing meditation. Listening to that water, picturing bringing in energy through my crown chakra, down into the earth, into the center of the earth, to Gaia, and activating the crystalline grid, and having that energy come back up through my feet, root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, activating healing. Simple as that, hey? Alright, let's get into it. Right, so this next video is about what's worked for me in activating my third eye, I guess, and psychic abilities, and in esoteric teaching, it's your higher self that decides when your third eye opens and you start to get a connection to your soul self. It's really about that connection to your life path, or it can be about that, about what your soul really wants to do. Trying to find you want to step into service more than serve yourself. There is no magic pill, that's what's up. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I did, what worked for me, my little story, and hopefully it helps you. Like, from my heart to yours, I hope it does. But everyone's got their own path, that's for real. Alright, kings and queens, as the thunder rolls outside and the lightning's cracking, let's talk about walking your own path. This is wicked. So is your path at this stage one that's laid out by social standards? You know, society's fabricated idea of who you should be? You're walking a path because you just kind of fell into it? Or is it a path that's kind of led because it's the dominant social, cultural structures and standards that we're living in? Have you considered that walking the path of your parents is generational programming, is a generational momentum of past experiences and thought patterns that are stored in our DNA at a cellular level? Pretty tripped out, hey? All these things no one's ever pointed out to me. Have these questions made you say, holy shit, am I following the crowd? Am I even making my own unique choices on this journey into finding your calling or getting connection to your higher self? We're going to invoke animal spirit of the wolf. It's got this mad power animal deck. This is where we evoke the wolf spirit animal energies. The inner wolf, thirst for freedom, truth, and authenticity. Sacred wild nature, breaking free from the herd, courageously forging our own path. Wearing my mask, I am imbued with the power of this spirit animal. Alright, so now I'm just going to spit out exactly what I did to get things cracking, get some sort of mad connections, and started getting some sort of clear stuff going on. This is exactly what I did, so I'm going to shout out to Sadhguru, because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and he happened to be the voice that I listened to basically after listening to his stuff, I chose, the first time I ever started meditating was one of his meditations, which I share on my Unfuck My World Facebook page. And I did that twice a day, morning and night. And there was 2 other little tips that he talked about. He talked about how we lose our sensitivity to things because we're always getting smashed with stimulants. You know, we've got our coffees, we've got our energy drinks. People have got their cheeky gutter drugs and whatever else is going on. But also he explained how garlic is a stimulant. So I thought, oh well, stuff it. I'm gonna get off garlic for a few weeks. I'm gonna get off coffee for a few weeks. So I did that, along with meditating twice a day. With just, you know, that's just the one I chose, one of his ones. And yeah, I'll also go into what else I did with water and detoxing my body. That's basically what I did. All right. So coming up next is meeting my spirit man. It's just a story that needs to be told because it's so tripped out. But I'd kind of already had, I'd already received downloads and visions and was already like, holy shit. I was already on my path. The universe communicates in patterns, geometric shapes, light, vibration, symbols. It's not always language and vision, clear dreams and all that sort of stuff. Mine's all been awake. I don't know. Ever since I started making YouTube videos, my dog thinks I'm crazy. We've got this real thing going on when I make videos. He absolutely hates me. I'm not a weirdo, you're a weirdo. All right, gather round. Getting a bit of a crowd. Give me a little space, guys. Meeting my spirit guide, meeting a spirit man, getting a spiritual message. It all came about when I visited a Reiki master healer, and I'd been to one before. That was actually one of the first things I did when I was focusing on my emotional blockages. When Chelle started doing her session, one of my spirit guides came in and demanded to talk, and so the journey went like this. I was directed to some big gates, and I opened those gates, and through the gates was a big field, a big grassy knoll, and in the distance I could see some big trees, and I walked towards those trees. And as I got up to the trees, they were much bigger than I'd pictured. They were huge, and as I walked amongst the trees, I was directed to touch the trees and thank them for their wisdom. As I walked out of the forest to the other side, I could see a clearing, and at the end there was a figure standing there, standing at the cliff face, and he was big. He was a big dude. He had a staff in his left hand, long black hair, and facing away from me, looking out into the abyss, and he had a rainbow coloured jacket on. And I was directed to go and stand beside him and look out into the abyss, and we could just basically look out further than you know the normal eye could see into the universe, into everything. And this guide, at the time I thought he might be a wizard. I wasn't sure because of the staff, and he was staunch, and the jacket, the long jacket and stuff. But he had a message for me, and his message was that I was to be a warrior for peace and love. And he would guide me and protect. He'd be one of my guides and one of my protectors, and you know, to follow that path, sort of thing. And that's what happened there. I don't know how you're supposed to unpack that, I'd already started my intellectual and spiritual awakening, as I told Chelle when we got there. I'd already basically writing or planning my Facebook page, Unfuck My World, and I was already going into business ideas, and say that you don't come up with an idea comes up with you. So when I got this message, I had to unpack that. And you know, how does anyone unpack a message like that? So you have to tell me how I'm doing with that. We're stepping up to that, because I'm still figuring that out. Yeah, so like that happened. So when it comes to the universe or your higher self or spirit, the creator giving you purpose or giving you a life path, you don't just get a straight answer. You don't go like, you might be looking for something, you know, like what's my life purpose? I kind of wasn't looking for that. I was kind of finding my way from the visions or the downloads that I'd already got. But life is synchronistic now. I've covered synchronicity in a couple of other videos. So this whole happening was one big fuck off synchronicity. I took my mum to see Chelle up in beautiful Mannum, and I've left her business links underneath. When the world is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people will come onto the earth of different classes, colours and creeds, who by their actions shall make the world green again. And these people will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. And that's a Native American prophecy. So I grabbed this shaman deck, this shaman message card deck. And this is one of the cards that came out when I flicked through it the other week. And this is about a belief of the standing people in Native American language. There are no objects, only relatives. Thus trees are standing people. And you can do stuff like sit with your back aligned with the trunk of a tree, breathe deeply and ask this standing one for a message, and express your compassion for all beings. I stand, sit and walk my full stature like the standing people. So obviously I've done a little mini amateur vision quest as well. So I've done a video about that. That's how you find your calling. It's not you get told straight up what it is. You get given signs, and there's synchronicities, and everything lines up. That's part of how the universe source your higher self, how you find your life path. You don't just, it's a multitude of nudges and feelings and signs and running into people and stuff like that. So to pick up on all of that stuff, you clear your mind. When you clear this vessel, that's when you are able to receive more. You're able to see more, pick up on more, notice the small things, listen to your gut, listen to your heart. And this is how it goes. It's not just one big slap in the face. Righto, we're going to get into some heavy metals that are neurotoxins for the brain. Copper, linked to tap water. Too much iron as well. It's a double-edged sword apparently, and I only say apparently because I've only learned about that through watching TED Talks, which I'm going to leave a link to below to. The stuff that I'm sort of mentioning is information from those videos, and they cover shitloads more as well. And my information also comes from other stuff. Yeah, the heavy metals in deodorants are a big neurotoxin. The aluminium zirconium, the aluminium chlorohydrate, and aluminium sulfate. So that's what they put in all of our deodorants, whether they're roll-on or not. And even the ones that say they're natural, most of them have the same chemical makeup. They'll have an aluminium in them. If it's not the aluminium, zirconium, hydro, blah blah blah, or you still got to suss out for the aluminium. that's also linked to Alzheimer's. It's also linked to breast cancer. Particularly women are going to get it as opposed to men in the upper outer quadrant because toxins get stored away from the vital organs of the body in fat tissue. When the body can't get rid of it, when the liver can't work it out, when other systems can't work it out, it gets stored in fatty tissue. And these deodorants go directly into our lymphatic system. So that's why it's linked to breast cancer. But it also deposits in the brain. So the heavy metals that I've just mentioned work in with the fluoride in our tap water. So you get the double whammy. You get the double whammy for the calcification of the pineal gland. And from autopsies, they've shown that this calcification is more like a toothpaste, so it can be reduced, broken up, and I am proof of that because shout out to the FIFO boys. We didn't drink water, tap water. I didn't drink tap water for over 10 years. Used to drink treated bore water. Yeah, it had shitloads of chlorine in it and it was pretty average, but they weren't putting fluoride in the water out on mine camps. When I came back home, started drinking tap water again. I started feeling older, I started feeling over the hill, I started switching off, I started falling into the rat race, drinking more, and just started to, and I just went back to sleep. I was quite awake for a few years. I was into all alternative information. I was always looking into stuff, and there came a point where I started learning about fluoride in tap water, and I got off it straight up. Started drinking spring water, started using fluoride-free toothpaste, and obviously went to the natural shampoos, got off the parabens and the petrochemicals that are in all of the shampoos. So I went natural, and that natural stuff is cheap as, and it's locally owned and made here too. Same with the toothpaste, it's cheap as, works really good. And that's when I started sort of waking up, along with focusing on my heart chakra. So the things I did for my heart were Reiki first, then I did self-guided hypnosis, which was really effective, and then I did stuff like Qigong, the particular types of heart release stuff, and that's when. So I did them in conjunctions with each other, and that's when I started to find that heart-mind connection, because I was clearing the distortions in my heart chakra, my heart energy center, and I was decalcifying, detoxifying my pineal gland. And then with Qigong, I started using the left and the right hemispheres of the brains again, as well as techniques like brushing my teeth with my non-dominant hand, which also wakes up the opposite hemisphere of the brain, which have atrophied over so long because we've never been taught to wake up both sides of the brain and master that sort of stuff. Done a couple videos on detoxing the liver and the colon, and when you do shit like that, when you start eating plant-based, for one, you're not going to smell as much if you're not drinking heavily as well, drinking alcohol. You don't smell as much, that's one thing, and you're eating healthy, so deodorant isn't the biggest deal, but safe versions or safe ways to deodorize that I have looked into and use is essential oils. There's a link to my store underneath, the Isogenic store, which has got dead set one of the most epic collections of of essential oils I've ever seen. So take that or leave that, find your own, use it that way. I've also come across a US brand of deodorant. It's called My Goodness Deodorants, and the owner of this, the maker of this deodorant, said she's channeled it from spirit, and it's all natural, and the makeup list or the ingredient list is, it's kind of like all foods. So it's kind of like if you're rolling this stuff on you, you're getting sustenance from this stuff. So I'll pop the link to that underneath as well. And I'm not affiliated with her, I've just found that from doing research. So this channel's not monetized, but as I go down this path and set it up properly and get my shit sorted, I will start doing that stuff on the side, because it doesn't cost you anymore, and it's just a way to monetize a passion of mine, which is obviously other people's well-being and raising of consciousness and challenging you to think and do things differently.
Shout out to the echidna and the hawk that crossed my path when I was coming out here to film this. You! So I started this mission basically dead on a year ago. So it's a perfect time for me to share this and for someone else to perhaps take some of this info and start their own cycle, their own little journey. Time isn't linear as we're taught, it's cyclical, and all of the ancients knew this and had advanced knowledge of the cycles of the galaxy. So the age of Aquarius is upon us, and this would have been celebrated by the ancients in civilizations like Lemuria and Atlantis. Check it. The only reason that we are not celebrating it is because we follow mainstream media as gospel, when really it's a social engineering tool that decides for us what we should be focusing upon. The divine feminine rises, and brave men and women are stepping forward as a prototype to exemplify what a balanced masculine and feminine energy looks like, skewing what roles gender will be playing in the new society moving forward. I'm Michael Doviak, a warrior for peace and love. Much love, peace, and light. Stay tuned for more madness. Please like and subscribe, share, help get this info out there. And there's a short write-up underneath about the heart chakra, some pretty juicy info, and links to everything that's been covered. Namaste.